What did you do different that got you into medicine? Not bad. Good question. Hi everyone. Welcome to another tool of the inventory. My name is Akshita and I'm an international med student studying in UNSW Sydney. Today, we're taking a step back and looking at how we got into med in the first place. There is a lot of generic advice out there on what you should put into your applications, what you shouldn't, what you should be aware of. But today I just want to do a little bit of self-reflection and see what things in my applications and my interviews that I think got me into med in the first place and gave me a hope that I have a chance here. Before we begin, full disclaimer, this is not certified information. No university or institution has told me that this is what got you in. It is purely my speculation. It's just that when I look back at my answers and applications, there are just some brutally obvious patterns. And I think that some of you keen beans who want to get an edge over the others might find this helpful. But let's get started. Now, if you saw my UNSW application in its finished product, I had distinction and high distinction scores for an international benchmark test that was actually powered by the Australian Centre of Education and Research. I also had in 2013, when I was in 8th grade, I also won the country toppers gold medal that had like my name engraved and everything, and it was actually powered by UNSW Global. So when anybody would read my application, it would look like as if I was trying to get into Australia and UNSW in specific years before I actually even got to the application process. And it speaks very good of my application because it's very relevant. It shows that I can perform well based off what Australia wants as its educational standard. But believe me, I didn't do it on purpose. It happened by chance, or I should say miracles, because I believe in them. I would just go and enroll into any random Olympiad that my school would offer us to take an exam for and go and sit it without preparation whatsoever. For me, it was just like, oh, that's today? Sure. Oh, we get to miss maths period. Nice. And it's only when I was filling up the applications that I realized that, oh wait, it is actually really relevant. What I'm trying to get at here is that this does not have to happen by chance for you. If you have a country or a university in mind, go explore their pages and look for any exams, any tournaments, competitions, Olympiads that the country or university hosts, and you go and participate in them. Because having that on your application will show that you're trying to show that you're compatible with what that country requires as an educational standard. I somehow think that when I was filling it up, it gave me a lot of confidence that I had something super relevant to show to this university. So maybe you can try this out. Now, everybody who, views or sees people who do medicine or law thinks that they're all, academic immortals. You graduate on top of your class, you win all trophies and walk out of there like, some sort of, oh my God, I'm the victory hero over this place. I wasn't like that. I know I met the cutoffs for the Australian degree entry, but in my high school, tons more people scored better than me. I didn't win a single award as I graduated my high school. But that didn't stop me from joining med. So what was it that kept my application going and made it reach the interview stage? Well, I think it was improvement and consistency. Right from grade 5, I'm not joking, middle school, all the way to grade 12, until there were, the grading systems of F to A1, that whole thing. Until they were present, I was always winning certificates for having a consistent all A1s for 3, 4, 5, even 6 consecutive years. And there were 2 years where I didn't start off that well. I showed a consistent climb of improvement. Most of you know all of this, but what that shows is 1, I am not willing to compromise on my standard of work. 2, I am not willing to give up if my standard of work breaks its streak. Well, my family, being my largest and biggest, oh my God, support system, has been a big part of why that is the way it is, but that's a story for another time. My point here is that don't be disheartened if you're not the textbook representation of what a med student should be. I wasn't, and I'm still here, so don't give up hope on that. So a huge part of my extracurriculars in my application was the 6 Model United Nations conferences, the last of which was actually in New York. So I had to travel to the US specifically for this for the first time. I know that you would want to have, people believe in having multiple extracurriculars and a wide and diverse set of them, because then that shows you have a lot of skills and that you do a lot of things, you have various talents and all of that. I get that, I understand. But I guess every one of you must have heard what an elevator pitch is. It's a 30-second introduction of yourself that you give to any professional in any networking event. In those 20 to 30 seconds, you won't go around telling a whole list of all the things you do. You have certain things that you prioritize as a part of your professional identity. And then there are other interests that you follow when you have time to yourself. I think that in my application, I followed that kind of organization. My extracurriculars were all prioritized and organized. I clearly differentiated passions and interests. So in my application, you could clearly see I am about my academic performance. And then I love and excel in public speaking. And then I had small interests like drawing, dancing, and all of that stuff. I somehow feel that when you do that kind of organization, or you perform your extracurriculars in such a way that it gives you that kind of organization so you can divide passions and interests, it kind of gives the assessors a hint of your personality even before they have sat down to interview you. And that might make a difference. Who knows? Even now, I'm about my academic performance, but the extracurriculars that I do majorly are towards the mental health and the peer mentoring sector. So I always strive to maintain that organization such that I can say, okay, these are my passions, these are my interests. It is a difference. So the next thing I have on my list is how I put across my reasons for doing medicine in my applications. Look, most people have very similar reasons for doing medicine. It's usually things like a traumatic experience or a good experience with healthcare. Love for research, love for science, love for the emotional and rewarding connections you form with people. But the overarching theme usually is that you want to help. And I was very insecure about my reasons for doing medicine. I just felt like, other than the mainstream reasons that everybody gives, I didn't have anything special or unique to me. I somehow felt that if I speak of these reasons, I'm going to come across as very superficial, because literally every single person in the world can relate to them. Like, unless you're like straight up evil, you will not say no to helping people, right? But my mom told me to just believe in whatever I think and gave me a lot of pep talk in this. So when I finally sat down to write my answers, I literally started with the line, helping people. Simple but powerful. All it needs is a little bit of perspective. And then I went on to explain my perspective. And then when I finished off, I also finished with the line, my reasons for believing in doing this are very simple, but I believe in them wholeheartedly. Something like that. And I finished it off. So I put across a very simple reason, but I delivered it with as much power I could put into that text. And I think that makes a difference. What I'm getting at is that if you feel insecure about things, don't fabricate, don't use buzzwords. Just think of how you can deliver the same exact very simple reasons to make it sound unique. I wanted to make sure that the moment somebody reads my answer, they can see that my reasons are very simple, but I'm not kidding when I say I believe in them. And I think that made a difference in my applications. The last thing I have on my list is what I did when I was answering a few questions in interviews. I was not afraid to be unconventional. Let me explain. At some point during all the different interviews you're going to give, there will be this conversation of, what specialty do you want to go in, or any question like that. I did not have anything in mind. I don't know. And so I said that, I've only been in hospital for like 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 instances. It has just been enough to tell me that I like working in the hospital-ish environments as opposed to working in corporate. And so I know that I want to do med, but I don't know enough science about each organ system to be able to tell you which specialty I would be interested in. And I cut it there. It's okay to be unconventional. I think just the best thing to do is when you are unconventional and you feel like you're being a little bit different from the rest, take them through your thought process. Why is it that you are saying the things that you're saying? And who knows, you might impress a lot more people than you think you would. There you have it. So those are the 5 subtle things that I think I did a little bit differently for my med applications. Remember that although this is tailored to applying in medicine, this information can actually be used on everything that you are trying to contest or apply for. Use it as you think is fit. Another reminder, this is not certified information. It's purely my speculation, so take it with a grain of salt. If there's anything you took of value from this video, please consider liking it, comment on below, and let me know which of these tips resonate with you. Let me even know if you've tried any of these. I want to know how it went. If there's anybody that you know who is trying to apply, is in the last stages of their high school and would find this useful, consider sharing it to them. It would do them a lot of good. I have a lot of helpful tips and tricks and a lot of other stuff coming for you guys, so please consider subscribing and making this inventory your own. But until next Friday, waiting for the sun to come out. Otherwise the lighting in the clip. There it is. Okay, sure. I'm gonna start again.